Today was the Video Game Awards, during which Frontier finally gave a first look at gameplay within Odyssey. As to be expected, it contained a bunch of footage for a variety of on-foot locations, and it also gave us a look at a mixture of combat. You can see the video playing on screen right now. So this video is actually a pretty big deal, as it gives us our first glimpse of what Odyssey is all about. Of course, Frontier are notorious for releasing trailers that are not reflective of the actual game. However, in this case, it seems they just might be painting a slightly more accurate picture. Anyway, right now it's pretty late here in the UK. It's actually around about 2 AM as I'm recording this, so this video is going to be a first impressions of my thoughts on Odyssey gameplay, late night look as it were. I will then release a second video tomorrow going into more detail and taking a deep dive into the whole thing, so do keep an eye out for that. One thing that really hit me more or less immediately with this video is the change in the sense of scale. Whilst we've always been able to drive around on planets, at least for a long while now, it's not at all the same as walking around on foot. Seeing buildings, vehicles and ships from this perspective really does change things, and I think the video does a pretty good job of highlighting that. And you can particularly see that in the few locations here. For example, the characters against the size of the ships and the anaconda against the size of the settlements. It really does convey the sense of size there. The combat, meanwhile, is what a lot of people are going to be talking about, and it actually looks pretty good. Now, sometimes it's hard to get an idea of how things will play out until the game is actually in your hands, but on other occasions it's immediately apparent. In this case, it's, well, much faster than I was actually expecting it to be, and I suspect that's going to be a good thing. I tend to like the faster paced combat, especially if it's PvE and not so much fast paced PvP, because I'm not a huge PvP player, but PvE is definitely a good thing. And I've really got to give a shout out to the environments here, which are dark and moody and look really nice. For those like me who are primarily interested in PvE, the real question is going to be just how capable is the enemy AI? After all, let's face it, to keep this interesting long term, the AI really is going to need to be very good. Time will tell on that one. Now, the most appealing thing for me as someone who loves open world games and exploration is of course the environments. So we have seen the new planetary tech in action in previous videos in the past dev diaries. However, this gameplay trailer, this gameplay video gave us another look at what some of the planets at least are going to be like. It's an obvious step up from what is currently available in the game, and I'm personally very much looking forward to taking a closer look at these. Now, of course, it's still an open question as to how much variety is going to be there with the different planets, how many different atmosphere types are there going to be, and what type of effect will this have on the coloration of the sky, let alone the reflective light on the planetary surfaces. It's also another big question as to whether these very light atmospheres are going to have any effect on the flight model. Currently, there's of course no information on that, but I suspect that for now at least, with these very limited atmospheres, it's likely not to have much of an impact at all. But later, if there's going to be some more heavy atmospheres, then just maybe things will change. But regarding these planets, I've honestly got to say they look absolutely spectacular. Way better than I was actually expecting. And, well, the ice worlds look quite a lot like the concept art that Frontier showed back at FX17. So it's taken a long while to get there, but I think the planets definitely look to be on the way up. Very much looking forward to getting out there and exploring these. Now, I do have another brief image to look at here. This is sent over from Frontier, and it gives us our first look at the UI. We can see the HUD up in the top left-hand corner of the radar. We got some other information there. It's something I do want to have a look at closer in the video tomorrow, but just to give you a glimpse of an additional image that you may not have seen elsewhere. And on a final note here, it seemed Frontier made a bit of a mistake earlier today, or earlier this evening, by accidentally, it seems, posting the Odyssey pre-order to their store page as well as to Steam. Now, there's some pricing here. It was £30 for the basic version of Odyssey and £40 for the deluxe version with the alpha expansion. Now, there were also some details here that said the alpha version comes with alpha access. That's very interesting in and of itself, because it obviously suggests that the update will be coming before a beta even, so this may be coming very early just to get early access to it. As for a release date, there's still nothing set in stone, but very briefly Steam did show a release date of the 21st of April. Now, as I said, it did disappear briefly from the Frontier store, but it does appear to be back again, so if you want to check it out, you can find a link in the video description. So I'll be back again to have a closer look at this tomorrow. For now, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls tomorrow.